But first, big reaction today to Illinois leaders pushing back against the president's threat to send the National Guard to Chicago.
Some law enforcement leaders say federal help is welcome, but Trump's current plan could spell trouble.
Paris Schutz is here. And Paris, you talked to a few different officials about this. What do they have to say?
Yeah, Sylvia and Terrence, we didn't want to make this a political story, but the law enforcement aspect and the opposition to Trump's plans to send the National Guard, it isn't just political. These law enforcement leaders and even Trump supporters say the president should press pause.
38th Ward Chicago Alderman Nick Sposato is a former firefighter and City Council's strongest Trump backer. But on this issue, Sposato says the president has it wrong.
I think it's a terrible idea. They don't have policing powers. They don't really know what to do. More importantly, you're putting 18, 19-year-old kids on streets they're unfamiliar with M16s. I see it as a recipe for disaster.
Sposato did not attend yesterday's large press conference. That's where the governor, the mayor, and others pushed back on Trump, threatening to sue to block his plans and called them political intimidation.
This is not about fighting crime. This is about Donald Trump searching for any justification to deploy the military in a blue city, in a blue state, to try and intimidate his political rivals.
Johnson and Pritzker have touted Chicago's 30% reduction in murders, on track to finish at the lowest level since 2014. That's when Gary McCarthy was Chicago police superintendent. McCarthy is now in that role in suburban Willowbrook and says the National Guard isn't trained to do what sworn police officers do.
They're not going to respond to calls for service. They're not going to be doing car stops. They're not going to be doing street stops. They might not even be armed, and as such, they could be targets.
Federal law says a state's governor must request the Guard, except for in extreme situations like an insurrection. National Guard members have traditionally been called up for major events or protests to guard infrastructure and help with crowd control. But Sposato and McCarthy say Chicago's political leaders should get on the phone with the president and convince him to come up with a better plan.
I don't know who's got the direct line to the president other than probably the governor. So instead, we're fighting one publicity stunt with another publicity stunt.
At the end of the day, this is not good for the country as far as Democrats and Republicans at war. And there has to be a bipartisan method to get these things done.
Current Chicago Police Superintendent Larry Snelling was not available for comment today. He has not issued any public statements on the president's plans. We have attempted to get more information from the White House, but have not received that at this point. Sylvia.
Okay, Paris, we had a story earlier saying that they were estimating for the D.C. cost from 2021 with the riots that took place, that it was costing more than $1 million a day to have the National Guard in a community.
So we're talking about tens of millions of dollars if this is an extended stay. And some of the folks I talked to today, Sylvia, said, you know what, we'd love that money, but just in the form of more permanent police officers. That's what they said.
Okay, thank you for that.